The Foundation for Healthy St. Petersburg is really focused on health equity, and when you think about health equity, which we can define in a number of ways, we think of it in part as framing it through the social determinants of health. So K through 12 education is critical to setting the stage for your future life, for giving everyone common understanding of the civilization they live in, but also to achieve individual health. You have to have a decent amount of education and exposure.
The Pinellas Education Foundation has been focused for 31 years on making sure that students are prepared for life after high school. The majority of the Pinellas Education Foundation's programming works with underserved populations. We really want to hone in our resources to help the students who need us the most. So in the last 25 years, we've seen a lot of improvement across all educational outcomes for students of low income, from students of a variety of ethnicities, and for gender. But what we find is that there are gaps that still persist.
When you think about the last 25 years culturally, the community has also dramatically changed. And our ability to understand and talk about race in frames that use social determinants. So now we have a deeper understanding that education is really super key in terms of looking at the outcomes for all the students to try to make them more equitable all the way through, from 1st through 12th grade. So these things all align to have the Foundation's interest in health equity and the understanding that education is certainly a key social determinant, along with what the Education Foundation has already proven. If you focus in areas and find the right interventions, we can see and find improvements. So that's exactly what we're all interested in, from the schools to the Education Foundation to the Foundation for Healthy St. Petersburg. So I think it's a great partnership.
Our very first research report is going to be around post-secondary education attainment, recognizing that in this community we need to have a higher percentage of working-aged adults that hold a highly valued credential or degree in order to be contributory to the economy of this community.
We are also in a new time that people are thinking very differently about college education. And so I think that is critical, both politically and environmentally, locally, but also politically nationally. So that movement was also something we're paying attention to.
The other benefits of this partnership is we're bringing people to the table who aren't always there as a part of the conversation. So this isn't just a bunch of educators coming around trying to solve education problems. There's really a recognition that this is a community issue, and so that's why you're seeing the county, the city, companies, other foundations come to the table around these particular issues and wanting to partake in these conversations because it's in the best interest of all of us.
The Foundation will be focusing on housing data, which is clearly connected to the educational outcomes, the instability or the stability of housing, which directly drives where you live, which drives where you go to school. And if you're a single mom trying to raise kids or a grandmother trying to raise kids, and you've got transportation issues, and you have kids going to 2 different schools, and you've got 3 kids you're looking after, it is a real challenge on a very limited income to figure out how to sustain and support those kids and their advanced learning needs of what's happening in schools now. So that translation, when we look at housing data, we can help communities and leaders understand that connection.
The Education Foundation, in partnership with the Foundation, is really committed to that long-term sustainability, which in many instances is going to be about policy change. That doesn't always mean we have to rush up to Tallahassee and it's some sort of legislative change. Sometimes it's policies that are happening right here in our community. And so we want to be very cognizant that this isn't just about funding another program. It's always with an eye to what is the long-term impact of this and how do we make sure that it sustains long beyond any investment that we've made into the initiative.
So how do we use this to think about policy change both for the school systems but also to excite the students and people within the system to want to believe the system is going to get better and can change? And I think these reports, this data analysis, some of these incremental things we're going to be able to model and show will also hopefully galvanize the leadership to insist that these changes get made in positive ways and that we pay attention closely over time to what's happening to the equity of the students in our county.